Hi students, welcome back. I hope you're all doing great. So the purpose of this video is to guide you through your assignments for the second week of your packet, which is from Monday, May 18th up until Friday, May 22nd. You should have this packet or will be receiving it. It looks like this. This is the front page, which is the schedule of the 2 weeks. So we're gonna pick up on page 218 of your packet, which will tie into Monday, May 18th. Page 218 looks like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read this short story. It runs from page 218 up until 219, and this short story is gonna tie into your assignments for Monday, May 18th, and Tuesday, May 19th. So I will read the short story. You may pause to answer the questions depending on the day you're working on, okay? So let's get started. Page 218. Follow along. A Nation Mourns. In this excerpt from the Civil War, author Jeffrey C. Ward describes the path of the funeral train and how people across the United States paid their final respects to their fallen president. Abraham Lincoln died at 7:22 a.m. The telegraph carried the news across the country in minutes. No president had ever before been murdered. People would remember for the rest of their lives where they were and what they felt and what the weather was like when they heard it. Gideon Wells walked the wet streets of Washington. On the avenue in front of the White House were several hundred African American people, mostly women and children, weeping and wailing their loss. This crowd did not diminish through the whole of that cold, wet day. Lincoln's casket lay in state, first in the East Room of the White House, then in the rotunda of the Capitol. He was to be buried in Springfield, his adopted home. Turning the page to page 219, the funeral train took 14 days and traveled 1,662 miles through the soft spring landscape, retracting the route Lincoln had taken to Washington 5 years earlier. In Philadelphia, Lincoln's coffin lay in Independence Hall, where he had declared he would rather be assassinated than surrender the principles embodied in the Declaration of Independence. The double line of mourners stretched 3 miles. In Manhattan, scalpers sold choice window positionings along the route for $4 and up. The procession lasted 4 hours. Blacks had been barred from the New York ceremonies, but a last-minute change of heart by the mayor permitted them to take part, provided they marched at the rear. At Cleveland, no public building was thought big enough to hold the expected crowds, and an outdoor pavilion was set up through which 10,000 mourners passed every hour, all day, despite a driving rain. There was a run on black drapey material in the city, and many households had dyed their own. The rain caused scores of draped buildings to run with black. It finally ended in Springfield on May 4th. Among the thousands of people who shuffled past his bier were many who had known him in the old days, farmers from New Salem, law clients and rival attorneys, neighbors who had nodded to him each morning on his way to work. General Joseph Hooker, in the charge of the final leg of the long journey, led the slow march through a gentle rain to Oak Ridge Cemetery. So this is the end of the short story, and I will go over what you need to do with this short story. So on Monday, May 18th, you are asked to read the first page of the story, which we already did, and then you are asked to answer the academic vocabulary. So I will read the 2 vocab words to you, and this is for Monday. The first one is declare. And again, remember, right underneath the word, it'll tell us where we can find it in the story. We can find it in paragraph 6. The second word is principle. And again, right underneath the word, we'll find the information to tell us where to find it. And we can find it in paragraph 6. So this is for Monday. And then on Tuesday, May 19th, you are asked to read the second part of the story, which we already did. And then you are asked to answer the close or the close reading questions. And the close reading questions, I will read to you from top to bottom. They look like this. And the first one reads, key idea. How did Americans pay their final respects to President Lincoln? List two ways. Next, I will move on to read critically. Underline details in paragraph 3 that describe people's reactions. Based on these details and Elizabeth Keckley's description of mourners in behind the scenes, how did people in Washington, D.C. feel about Lincoln? And then number 3, the last one, react and write. How are people's reactions to Lincoln's assassination in this text similar to the reactions in chasing Lincoln's killer? How are they different? And then on Wednesday, May 20th, we are going to be answering a writing prompt. So again, the second page of your packet gives you a designated area for this writing prompt, and it'll be the bottom half. And the writing prompt reads, what do you think, Wednesday? What do you think will be the best thing about transitioning into 9th grade next school year? So all of you are in 8th grade right now, and next year you will be going into 9th grade. That means you'll be going to the high school. So I want to know, what do you think will be the best thing about transitioning into 9th grade? I would like to remind you that this is just a thought. There's no right or wrong answer. Everybody has their own opinion. So I want to hear, what do you think will be the best thing into transitioning into 9th grade next year? Okay. And then on Thursday and Friday, which is May 21st and May 22nd, you are asked to read another short story, which reads, Oh, Captain, My Captain. So I will read this story, and then I will walk you through what you need to do for Thursday and then Friday. So we are going to turn to page 220, and I will read the title, Oh, Captain, My Captain, by Walt Whitman. Then we are going to turn to page 221, which looks like this, and I will read the story. Oh, Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wreck. The price we saw is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh, heart, 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 oh, the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, falling cold and dead. Oh, Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores a crowding. For you they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, the arm beneath you head. It is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer, his lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm, he has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells. But I will mourn, tread, walk the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. So I made a mistake and I said this was a short story. It is not a short story. It is poetry. So I read the poem to you, and you may go back and listen to it or reread it on your own as needed. So on May 21st, which is Thursday, you are asked to turn to page 220 and answer the academic vocabulary, which looks like this. And then I will read the two vocab words for you. So the first one is voyage, and this one tells you where it can be found, but it does it based off of lines instead of paragraphs. So the first one can be found in line 19. The second word is object, and this vocab word can be found in line 20. On Friday, May 22nd, you are asked to turn to page 221 and you are asked to answer the close reading questions, and I will read those to you. The first close reading question is the key idea, and it reads like this. How does the speaker in the poem feel about the captain? Underline 3 details to support your answer. The second one is analyze extended metaphor. Think about major events in America at the time Whitman wrote the poem. Who does the captain represent? What does the ship represent? Okay. And then the last one, react and write. Walt Whitman calls the captain dear father. What does this reveal about his feelings for the captain? Okay. So this is the end of this video, students, for the second week of your packet. Feel free to go through and watch this video as many times as needed. Also, I encourage you to contact myself or Ms. Mejia if you have any questions. We will be more than happy to help you, and we hope you are staying safe and having a good day.